One of the joys of gardening is raising your own plants from cuttings. It's essentially cloning vegetable matter to make plants, so you know exactly what the child is going to look like because you've got the parents. I'm using here a little heated cable in a outdoor cutting garden. This is made by Parcine. It's 10 feet long, about 3 meters, and it's 50 watts. How much does a cutting garden cost to run? It's 50 watts of consumption. Each unit of 1,000 watts for 1 hour is 18 pence. That's the UK 2020. So running time for 18 pence is 1,000 divided by 50, 20 hours. So running cost per week then is number of hours in a week, which is 7 days by 24 hours per day, time divided by 20 times 0.18. That comes to about £1.51 per week. The running cost per month then is just 4 times that, £6.05, and for a half year £36.30, and for a full year £72.60. Of course, these numbers will need adjusting for changes in practices with time and for costs in other countries, etc. So it's quite economical. There's no thermostat on here, so there's nothing to go wrong, but you do have that continuous cost. So what I'm doing here is arranging the cable just to make sure it's about the right position to fit in. These are blocks which came from a neighbour. He's doing some demolition. He was going to throw them away, send them to the tip, and I just rescued them. So it's essentially the cost is nothing. I'm going to fill this with some sharp sand and then take the cable out, put in the sharp sand, and then put the cable in and put some more sharp sand on top. And then just arrange the cable so that there's no point where the cable is touching itself, because that can lead to overheating, and you want a reasonable distribution in here. Something like that, for example. What you don't want to do is to have this part damaged, so I've got a piece of slate to go over the top of that, but to make it clear of the heating cable, I don't really want that. So something, so you could do it, probably a smaller piece of slate would be ideal. Let's see if I can find a smaller one. The junction quite well. It is waterproof, but it's just a mechanical protection against any digging or anything else that takes place, so at least there's something to protect the cable. And then having done that, all we're going to do is cover the soil warming cable with about 1 inch or 2 inches. I suppose 3 inches would be ideal. I'm not sure I've got enough sand for that, but a reasonable coverage so that the entire cable is submerged in the sand and the heat can spread out. So just carry on like that, cover the thing up, and then when we're less ready. Yeah, we should make a complete box for it, just using again these second-hand thermalite bricks. And the mains cable, I've got one neighbour's also was throwing out some roofing tiles, so I'm using the roofing tiles as a protection again for the cable, so it doesn't get damaged by mistake in some way. So we'll carry on and fill the thing up with sand. So there is the cutting heated frame provided. I won't cover it at all. I'll just leave it so the plants can be watered by the rain. The more shade, it's in shade from this wall here, and really shade's very useful. It's actually in a bit too much sun. Really be better completely north facing rather than sort of northeast as it is, but it should be fine. With cuttings, it's always a race between rotting and rooting, so you want the plants not to have to struggle to keep bringing up water to counter the loss of water through evaporation through the leaves and whatnot. So you want it in the shade. You want it warm on the bottom where the roots are, and you want it to be watered when it needs to be watered. And the easiest way to do that is to leave it out so that the rain does it for you. Otherwise, it becomes a bit of a chore having to keep water things every day. But that's the basic setup.